What is going on, guys? Mar here today. Another special video. I just did a squat tutorial video, low bar, and now we are going to be going over how to sumo deadlift. I'm just going to be going over a couple cues, how to do stance, grip lift, and whatever you guys want to see. I got a few people that wanted to see this video, so I'm going to make it, get it out, and go over it super quick. It's not complicated. When you first start doing something, you don't want to be too complicated and do it very slowly. And I'm going to try my best to teach you guys. So let's do it. Okay, guys. So first and foremost, what people do terribly wrong when they're learning how to sumo is that they are trying to go super wide, like this fucking wide. So a good stance, I feel like a lot of people should learn, is right on this knurling right here. Put the middle of your shin, which is what I use, and have this part of your shin, the straight part, lined up against it. Usually, in most cases, when you come down, you see how your shin is vertical with the bar? That is usually going to be your most powerful stance. So, first stance is I want you guys just to be like this, get comfortable with squatting into this position and get very comfortable with it. And now we are going to be going over some of the cues that I use, but this is a huge thing. You can always go a little bit wider. You can always go a little bit shorter, but this is a perfect medium. Well, I messed up first when I was doing sumo. I was trying to go super, super wide. That's going to really tax your hips a lot, and you're not going to be as explosive. All right, guys, so one huge tip. So, right, you're lining up your stance, right? Just the middle of your shin on the knurling. And obviously you want to be pointing your feet out just because you'll be getting more of the muscle memory, or not muscle memory, but when I'll get into this later, but you're going to be spreading the floor. And it's a lot harder when you're doing this versus this. If you guys see most people say, a huge cue is spreading the floor, which is when you're going to be using your leg drive to go up. But we're not going to get into that first. First, set up your stance. You're walking up to the bar, vertical shins, boom. One huge cue is, and I see a lot of people do this, is that they don't have long arms. They'll keep their arms like this, long arms. Not good. Keep your stance. You want to come in here, long arms. Usually you see a lot of people, they'll shake their arms like this. Keeping your arms as long as possible will be the easiest, just because you're lessening the range of motion. Now, if I show you guys here, so you can see my face. So that is the second cue. Have your stance, and like I said, you can always go wider, shorter, whatever you need. This is a perfect medium, and this is how I feel the most explosive personally, and a lot of people as well. Boom, long arms. You're gonna do whatever grip. I'll show you guys how to do hook grip in a bit, but some people like mixed grip or hook grip. Long arms. You're gonna set your stance. And now, if you see a lot of people, I'll show videos as well too, and screenshots, people will do this. What that does, if you really squeeze your pinky like this, you'll feel your lats. And if you see people like Dan Grigsby or anybody, they'll go like this, tension up their lats, and really feel that muscle memory of their lats come down. With you still have tension on your lats. Pull. What I do is squeeze with my pinky, and that makes my arms go like this, and that's how I know I'm engaging my lats. So pretty much what you're doing, you're coming to the bar like that. And now tension your lats and actually engage your lats in the lift. So boom, that is 3. Stance, long arms, come to the bar. What I like to do is just go like this, feel my lats like Dan Griggs. Come right here, boom, squeeze my pinky. And what you do now is you're not pulling the slack, you are pushing the slack. So when you come right here, stance, boom, long arms, I'm pushing the slack with my legs, like a leg press. Not pulling, because when you're pulling the slack, you're gonna have the sense of pulling it with your arms, which the biggest thing we don't want to do is lengthen the range of motion, which that'll do when you're doing like this, and I'm using literally all back. We don't want that. So what we're gonna do, boom, come in our stance, long arms, do whatever you want, tie in whatever ritual you got for the deadlift. Long arms, tight, squeeze your pinky to engage your lats. You're gonna be pushing the slack out, and when you do that, you're gonna be engaging your glutes. And when you do that, what it'll look like when you come back into the bar, you wanna scoop up. You don't wanna sit down. You don't wanna scoop and sit down, which means because you're losing your momentum. You wanna scoop into the deadlift, which will look like this. You are scooping your hips like that. And you're gaining momentum off of that as well too. Because you're engaging first you have your lats engaged, your quads are gonna be engaged. But when you do push the slack, you engage your glutes. When you come down and you're spreading the floor, like how I was gonna mention, that's why you have your feet pointed out. You engage your glutes, you sit back, you have your lats already engaged, and you're pressing it like a leg press off the floor, like this way. All right, guys, I'm gonna use Jamal as an example. So he's pushing the slack of the bar with his glutes. Then he's still holding the tension and keeping his arms long, wedging himself into the bar, and his knees and hips go out. And if you guys see the picture, this is the start. And then boom, that's with your hips opening up and you're wedging yourself into the bar. And at this point, you are pushing the floor while holding the bar, not trying to pull it, and you're spreading the floor. Approach the bar, vertical shins. For most people, you're gonna come down, lengthy arms, whatever grip you want. Squeeze with your pinkies to engage your lats. You're gonna push the slack you're gonna push it with your legs like a leg press and engage your glutes, and then come back in like that. And when I say come back in, when you're pushing with the slack, you wanna open up your hips. You don't wanna just come in like, because that is a huge no-no, is because you won't really be feeling the quads. I'll show you guys a few pictures of the top deadlifters that do the same thing. When they come, push the slack, and then open up their hips and wedge into the bar. That's how you wedge into the bar, by pushing the slack and then pushing your hips through, forward, and then you're pressing with your quads up. Now I'm just gonna be going through every single cue again, gonna be going over through the repetition. So boom, woo. Position, your stance, vertical shins usually, long arms, engage lats, boom, squeeze through your pinkies to engage your lats. You're gonna push the slack like a leg press and engage your glutes. You're gonna scoop in to the deadlift with your hips going straight as hard as you can. And while you're doing that, when you press with your hips, you're wedging into the bar while spreading the floor out and pushing with your quads. And when you press with your quads, with the lat tension, you're going back as well. Not back, but you're going straight or vertical. So boom, good, get in your position, lengthy arms, push the slack with your legs and your glutes, wedge in, and out, like that. That is pretty much the most simple way I could really go into this. It takes a lot of practice. You're not gonna get on the first day. And I'll be going over how without the bar now, because the bar was in the way. You guys can't see my side. So boom, you get in position, lengthy arms, push with your glutes, sit back in with your hips, open up your hips, and then you're gonna be pressing with your quads and spreading the floor out while pushing up with your back. Because you don't wanna be super rounded like this. It's kind of acceptable, but you don't wanna be like that in the midpoint of the way like this. You don't wanna straighten it out at the very end. You wanna start straightening out in the middle like this. And boo boys, I hope that helped. I'm sweating bullets. Please comment if you guys have any sort of questions. I'll be happy to answer. Thank you guys for watching. Comment what you want to see next. Peace.